already talked about, I've talked about in previous podcasts, the college football playoff rankings. I'm sure we are disappointed that the ACC didn't make it there. But one very quick question that I've been thinking about this lately. What if, it's a big what if, but what if Pitt did not have that inexplicable loss to Western Michigan at home early this season? You notice that most of the two lost teams finished near the top 10. Pitt finished 12th, right? So what if they were a one-loss champion? They would have been the top 10 for sure. But Jeff, I'm gonna kick it to you right quick, and then Matthew, you can follow up. As unlikely as this scenario would be, given that Cincinnati deservedly got the fourth spot at 13-0, with a one-loss Pitt from a Power 5 conference. Again, I know that it's not sexy. I know it's very unlikely, but what would be the likelihood that they would have at least threatened UC with the fourth spot, given that they had the also good out-of-conference win at Tennessee early in the season?
I think they would have just missed out. I think they would have finished in the top 6, and they definitely would have been very much in the discussion. But they still, they would have had the win. They would have had the win over Clemson. You're right about the nice road win at Tennessee and against Wake Forest in the ACC championship game. But I think Cincinnati would have had that high-end win at Notre Dame, undefeated, won their conference championship, and I think they would have probably finished fifth or sixth. Pitt would have, but they definitely would have been in the discussion. There would have been, serious debate about them getting in. I feel like they would have just missed out though, because I think Cincinnati had quite a bit of momentum, especially, those last several weeks. And, just that resume, that win over Notre Dame, got another top 25 win in their conference championship game. I think this was the year for a group of 5 team to make it. And they rightly put Cincinnati in there. I think Pitt would have just missed out.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think they would have been maybe at the most 5th, but it would have been 5th or 6th. If they would have jumped, they would have been right there with Notre Dame, I think, in the very end. So Matthew, what say you, sir?
I agree with everything that Jeff said, and I'll probably be a little more cynical here. I don't think that Pitt has the brand name that Clemson does, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
There could have been some of that going on too.
Just remember,
I'm sorry. I've been in DC too long not to be cynical. And it's probably a terrible part of my persona, and I've been jacked from moving from North Dakota. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah. Well,
we could go down this. I was going to just say we could go down the rabbit hole of whether I think Pitt should have been in as a one-loss team versus Georgia as a one-loss team.
Yeah,
go down that rabbit hole.
They wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't allow that.
No, they wouldn't allow that.
SEC Philly. But I'll say this right quick, man. Remember the first year of the college football playoff when it was Baylor and TCU, right?
Yep.
Before they had a conference championship, when Ohio State miraculously jumped both of them with a big win against Wisconsin. They're still scoring touchdowns on them as we speak. But the thing is that someone said if either Baylor or TCU were named Oklahoma or Texas, they would have gotten in. And I co-sign that, and I will take that to my grave, because that's to Matthew's point. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
I remember that TCU team. I went to that game when they played in the Chick-fil-A Bowl against Ole Miss, and they boat raced Ole Miss that year. I think it was like 42-3 or something. They could have very definitely been named one of the top 4 teams in the country. But yeah, I think some of that brand name stuff, it definitely goes on. I don't have any doubt about that.
Right. Speaking of brands, let's just get right to what we really want to talk to you